Well, here's a question that kept my wife and I up late last night discussing. She teaches the Bible and I teach the Bible, and we're interested in Bible teaching, so we stayed up late talking about this question. How many points should a Bible study lesson have? Should it have 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? Well, I remember roughly this question being asked in a seminary class, a preaching class, and somebody asked, well, how many points should a sermon have? And the professor answered, at least one. It ought to have at least one, and generally speaking, one may be all it ought to have. By the way, this is what I call introduction by question, and it's one of the best ways to teach adults, to start out with a question that'll get the group talking. And the answer to this question is at least one and maybe only one. Andy Stanley said, less is more. I like to say it this way: we teach so little because we try to teach so much. And we teach about this and that and some other things and chase this rabbit and some other deal and some other deal and some other deal. And you would do well to focus your lesson about one big idea. Haddon Robinson said, a sermon should be a bullet, not a buckshot. A bullet, not a buckshot. And generally speaking, I think we do well if a Bible study lesson is the same way. Ideally, each sermon is the explanation, the interpretation, or the application of a single dominant idea. You may have some supporting ideas. You may chase a few rabbits, but there is one big idea that you're going to try to deal with. The single application of a single dominant idea supported by other ideas, all drawn from one passage or several passages of Scripture. This book on the big idea by Dave Ferguson and others, we have bombarded our people with too many competing little ideas. And the result is a church with more information and less clarity than perhaps ever before. And it is one big idea at a time that brings clarity to the confusion that comes from too many little ideas. And you would do well every week to ask yourself, if I were to stop you before you were to walk into class, what are you going to teach today? I often ask my wife, what are you going to teach this week? And she can nearly always say in one sentence, today I'm going to teach about not 16 things, but one thing. And you would do well to focus your lesson around one big idea. Have a burning passion about that idea. Have an application. What do you want people to do about it? But focus your lesson about one big idea. If you enjoyed this lesson, I'd like to ask you to do me a little favor, and that is to if you're watching this on YouTube, like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share this video with somebody else so somebody else can learn how they can teach, how they can know the importance of teaching with one big idea.